If the season was to end today, 2 of the 3 teams that were relegated from the Premier League last season will be going back to the Premier League next season. But what about the rest of the matches and the picks? We'll take a little look next. Show today. We take a look at match number 38 out in the Championship, and we'll get to that in just one second. If you're new to the channel, smash your subscribe button, get your bang out today with all things Blackburn Rovers related, Championship related. Whoa, what are we going to do here? Under one Ruski. That's right, boys and girls. Watford just keep on bloody winning, as do Norwich, as they move the bloody chains at the top of the table, with keeping the pressure on, of course, the likes of Swansea and Brentford, who drop points. But Barnsley are not just in the playoffs, they're actually in the playoffs right here, right now, sitting pretty in 5th with a good 5 points clearance over the likes of Bournemouth. We're going to look at all of that in just a second. Of course, a big shout out to the VIP Band of Brothers. We're talking about the Patreons. That's right. A big shout out to you guys for your continued support behind the bloody scenes. And anyone else out there that wants to join this band of men and women, check out the link down below, patreon.com/Roverseas. So here we bloody go, folks. Here we go. Looking back, of course, the midweek matches, which was a full fixture list, I think. We'll have a look at who got on the best. Of course, Cardiff have been doing good at the moment, recently grinding out the results, but unfortunately can only muster a draw against Stoke, 1-0 in the end. Meanwhile, Derby County drew with Brentford 2-2 in the end. Look at that. Pride Park, good result for Derby. Lee Gregory, Lewis Sibley as well on the score sheet. Tony and Sergio Canolas on Canos on the score sheet. Of course, Brentford, as they could only muster a point in the end. Of course, Middlesbrough, they did beat Preston 2-0. Jordan Story with big for OG, Marcus Taverner as well. Alan Brown got himself sent off and will not be available for the next one, as Middlesbrough kept on, with the curtails of the playoffs. Meanwhile, Luton Town against Coventry was a 2-0 win for Luton Town. James Bree on the score sheet. Elijah Adebayo get the goal for the penalty spot, giving Luton the win. Carl McFadden get himself sent off, as Coventry looking a bit wobbly at the moment. They could be sucked into that relegation match as well. Relegation scrap at the bottom there. 1-0 win for me for Luton, so not too shabby. Rotherham did get spanked by Watford in the end, 4-1. Francesco Serralta, Mali Sarr, Ken Zerman, and Dan Gosling get the goals for Watford. Of course, Freddie Ladabapo getting the goal for Rotherham as they, I'm on with the draw. I don't know what I was thinking, but 4-1 win for what I was hoping for them. But to be fair, it's all gone. It's all gone. Anyway, meanwhile, Bournemouth did smash Swansea 3-0 in the end. Goodness gracious me. Philip Billing, Grunewald, and Joel Latabaradudi with a big OG giving Swansea the defeat, and Bournemouth the win. 3-0 in the end. 2-1 for me for Swansea. Again, Bournemouth are still in the mix. Meanwhile, Nottingham Forest against Norwich, and that was a 2-0 win for the Canaries. Team Brook and Kieran Dow on the score sheet giving Norwich the W. I actually went with a 2-0 win as well, so not too shabby. I got it one bang on the nose. Meanwhile, QPR did beat Millwall 3-2 in the end. Charlie Austin, Stephen Johansson, and Jordi Devish getting the goals for QPR. Jared Wallace and Mason Bennett getting Millwall a 2-goal lead on that one. Actually, remember the 1-1 draw in the end. Barnsley just keep on keeping on, don't they? A 3-1 win over Wycombe. Collie Woodrow, Daryl DK with a couple of goals there as well. Alex Mowat as well, getting himself sent off. He will be out for the next one. Of course, Uche Ikabuzu get himself a goal for Wycombe, but unfortunately not good enough. 3-1 final score, 2-1 for me. Meanwhile, Birmingham got themselves a new manager bounce, of course, with Bowyer in charge. 2-1 win over Reading. Yukun Mighty with a consolation goal there for Reading. Of course, Lucas Chikowicz, of course, Harley Dean getting the goal as well for Birmingham, giving them a hope. Of course, Rovers could only muster a bore stinking draw against Bristol City. Nothing to report here. Absolutely Danny Dyer there. 2-0 for me. And of course, the Owls could only muster a draw against Sheffield, against Huddersfield in a 1-1 draw in the end. Goal scorers Jordan Windass, or Josh Windass, should I say, and Callum Patterson getting the consolation own goal, giving Huddersfield a show the sports. As you can see, got himself 4 out of 12, I think. Not good enough. The table, though, looks like this. Norwich City lead the charge at the moment. Of course, 10 points clear over and Watford, who are 3 points clear over Swansea, who have a game in hand, though, as do Brentford. Of course, Barnsley and Reading make up your top 6, I believe. Bournemouth still in the hunt, of course. Middlesbrough and Cardiff, your outside bet. And then I think that's pretty much it. I think the rest will be very, very shocked to see if any of those guys come out of the woodwork. Then, of course, Wycombe, Rotherham, Sheffield Wednesday going down to a point. Is now opening up a bit of a gap as well. It looks like a 6-point gap between Rotherham and Birmingham. But if Rotherham do win those games in hand, it will put the frighteners on the likes of Derby, Coventry, Forest even, and maybe even the likes of Huddersfield as well. Of course, that's that. But let's take a look at the next round of matches in just a second. Of course, let's take a look at your picks. Here we bloody go. Kick it all off with Vincent Ong straight off the bat. You get all right. Ollie Trafford also did good. Leeds 2021 also did good. I'm Stringer did bits. Of course, OK did okay. Yannick Buster did bits of poop. Mr. Kirkston did shite as well. James Gold also did crap. Cody Ho, you did pretty well for yourself. Ollie Jojo did well. Of course, Buddy77 also did good. Matt Esquivel did good as well. Fair play to you, brother, of course. Ashton Knights did good. Damien Heaven also did great, as did James Game Charlie, not to show. Of course, Hachi Chi did shite. Of course, Ultra Umura also did poop as well. Of course, Alex Weller did bits. Roberto Hoss also did very, very well. Of course, Shane O'Donnell, well done to you, of course. Kicking ass and taking names, of course. Itchy Eyeball, James Pierce, you are great. Of course, Russell Frost also did good. Joker Jackson also did very, very well. Well played to you, of course. And Tom Stainer, he did get 6. I did correct it. He knows the drill. And there you go. Of course, kicking on forward. Let's take a look at the table. Hachichi, or HT. I just bloody got it. He got himself 2, which is not great. As for the chasing pack, or the leaders, Frosty, Kirkho, and of course Shane O'Donnell kicking ass, taking names. 7 out of course 12. It's pretty good. It's not great, but it's good enough. And then the chasing pack as well. What's that done to the overall table? Well, of course, it's Jim Came and Charlie with a slight percentage points right now, leading the charge. It is so tight, and this is what we'd like to see. Of course, a real prediction contest on the cards here. So I know you're all on 58%, but if you break down the numbers down to the next decimal point, Game and Charlie has the lead. It's not by much, though. It's like, of course, one prediction either way, and you could see all chaos kicking off. Alex Weller, I think you're also still in the mix as well. Probably even as far as down as Jacob Jackson. I think the chasing pack from Alagiojo down, probably a little bit too far gone to make up the ground. Of course, you can all change, though, this weekend. Of course, kicking off with the next round of matches, which will kick off this Saturday. It will be Brentford up against Nottingham Forest this Saturday, early kickoff. Pleasure the last 6, 3 for Brentford, 3 for Forest, and of course, no draws last time around. In Brentford was a 1-0 win for Forest back in, of course, January 2020. Joe Lolly on the score sheet, of course, back in the day. And they also played this season at the City Grounds, a 3-1 win for Brentford back, of course, in December. Brentford, though, winning 7 last 8 home matches in the Championship, whereas Forest have actually failed to win the last 5. Coming into this, just 1 defeat the past 5 games for Brentford. That was against Norwich. Meanwhile, without a win in 5 for Forest. Last time they won was against Rotherham on the road. Look at the bookies odds on this one then, shall we? We've got Brentford 10-7 on for the victory. 11-4 is your draw. 17-4 is your Forest. For me, though, I'm going to give it a 3-2 win, and a win. That win for Brentford, they could move from 4th up to 3rd. If Forest, though, do win, they could go from 18th all the way up to 16th in the table, but they won't. 3-2 win for Brentford in the end. Next, of course, Bristol City taking on, of course, Rotherham. Played the last 6, 2 for Bristol, 1 for Rotherham, and 3 draws last round. In Bristol was a 1-0 win for Bristol back in, of course, December 2018. Adam Webster get the goal for Bristol City. Of course, Billy Jones and Richard Towell got himself sent off last round. Of course, last time, though, in this season, of course, back in the New York Stadium, was a 2-0 win for Rotherham back in, of course, the 12th of December, though. Bristol City, though, losing the last 5 home matches. Rotherham, though, losing 6 of the last 7 matches in the Championship as well. Coming into this, just 1 win the past 6, or 1 win the past 5 for Rotherham. That was against Sheffield Wednesday. Meanwhile, just 1 win in the past 4 games for Bristol City. That was against Birmingham. Have them a little bit questionable form at the moment. Look at the bookies odds on this one then, shall we? Bristol City 29-20 for the victory. 25 is your draw. 90-10 is your Rotherham. Rotherham currently find themselves in 22nd. Better win for them. They could close in on 21st. As for Bristol City, they're in 13th. The win for them, they can move up to 10th in the end. I think they'll nick it 2-1 win in the end. They weren't that good against. In fact, they were terrible against Rovers. But in fact, we were just goal shy, shooting shy. We were just a bag of shit. Anyway, 6 points. If I ever saw one, Coventry up against Wycombe this weekend down at St Andrews. Played the last 6 out of 6 for Coventry, including a last time around 1-0 win for Coventry when they were hosts back, of course, in the Rico, I believe, in League One back in October 2018. 1-0 win. Goal scorer on that day was, of course, who was it? It was Connor Chaplin on the score sheet. Of course, also played this season at Wycombe as a 2-1 win for, of course, Coventry. Liam Kelly with a couple of goals there. Joe Jacobson getting a goal for Wycombe. Coventry winning their last 9 matches against Wycombe, no comps. Wycombe, though, losing 8 of the last 10 away matches. Also failed to score in the last 4 on the road. Coming into this, just 1 win in the past 6 games for Wycombe. That was against Preston. Meanwhile, just 1 win in the past 5 for Coventry. That was against Derby. Indeed. Look at the bookies odds on this one. Sadly, Coventry are 4-3 on for the victory. 13-5 is your 4-1 is your long shots. That's Wycombe. Wycombe, if they win, they could go above Forest with a bit. They could go above Sheffield Wednesday with a bit of a goal swing. As for Coventry, they're in 20th. And for them, they can move up to 18th in the end. I think Wycombe will lose this one 1-0 in the end. Coventry take the 3 points. Next up, we have a bit of a Yorkshire affair here as Barnsley against Sheffield Wednesday. Played the last 6, 1 wins apiece, 4 draws last round. At Oakwell was a 1-1 draw back in, of course, February 2020. Collie Woodrow and Josh Windus on the 1-1 draw. Also played this season at Hillsborough was a 2-1 win for Barnsley. Woodrow and Freezer on the score sheet. Of course, Josh Windass again. So Woodrow and Windass scoring in back-to-back games between these two sides. So Barnsley winning 9 last 10 matches in the Championship, whereas Sheffield Wednesday have actually lost the last 5 on the road. Yeah, looking very, very grim at the moment for Sheffield Wednesday. They're looking like they're going down, even with Moore in charge. 5 wins in the spin for Barnsley. There are 5 wins in the past 6. Their only hiccup was the draw against Derby. The bookies odds will probably go with Barnsley on this one, I'm sure. 64 on for the hosts on 11. 14-5 is your draw, 17-4 is your away win. Sheffield Wednesday win for Sheffield Wednesday, though. They could actually go above Rotherham on goal difference. As for Barnsley, win for them in 5th. They could actually go as high as 4th. You just don't know. You really don't. I think Barnsley will win this one 2-0 win over Sheffield Wednesday to get the 3 points in the end. Millwall are taking, of course, Middlesbrough in the battle of the M's, of course. Played for the last 6, nothing for Millwall, 3 for Middlesbrough, 3 draws. Last round at the Den was a 2-0 win for Middlesbrough back in, of course, July 2020 in lockdown. Brits summer longer. Ashley Fletcher on the score sheet, of course, giving Middlesbrough the 3 points. Last round, though, at Riverside back in December, of course, 3-0 win for Borough. So back-to-back games, Middlesbrough have kept clean sheet against Millwall in all competitions and all venues. So Middlesbrough are actually undefeated in the last 6. We talked about that. They come into this, though, winning 3 of the past 4 games. Middlesbrough losing to Swansea. Meanwhile, Millwall just 2 wins in the past 4 games, losing to Rovers, losing to QPR. Nobody loses to Rovers. What's that all about? Of course, look at the bookies odds on this one then. 90-10 for Millwall, 21-10 is your draw, 8-5 is your Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough currently find themselves in 8th. A win for them, they can move up to 7th, whereas Millwall are actually in 10th. A win for them, they can move up to close in on 9th. I think this will be a 2-1 for Millwall at home. Unfortunately, against the run of play, Millwall will gladly take the 3 points. Next, of course, Reading up against QP Bloody R. Played each other the last 6. 3 for Reading, 1 for QPR, 2 draws last round. Reading was a 1-0 win for Reading back in the Matchday back on Boxing Day 2019. Goal scorer on the day was, of course, John Swifty Boy. Also played each other this season at Loftus Road, 1-0 win for Reading as well. So Reading, 4 games unbeaten against QPR. You're going to go back to 2018 for QPR's last victory, and it was at the Matchday. Though heading into this, QPR just 1 defeat the past 4 games. That 1 defeat was against Huddersfield. Meanwhile, just 1 defeat the past 5 for Reading. The 1 defeat was against Birmingham, of course, just the other day. Look at the bookies odds on this one then, shall we? We have QPR coming at you 13-5 for the victory. 11-10 is your Reading. 23-10 is your draw. QPR in 12th. A win for them, they can move up to 10th. Reading are in 6th. A win for them, they can move up to 5th. I think Reading will nick this one 1-0 in the end. It won't be good. It won't be pretty, but it'll be just enough to get the 3 points. Next up, we have Watford up against new manager Bounce. Birmingham City, of course, played the last 6. 5 for Watford, 1 for Birmingham. No draws. Last time at Vicarage Road was a 1-0 win for Watford back in, of course, April 2015. Craig Cathcart on the score sheet, giving Watford the W. They also played this season at St Andrews back in December was a 1-0 win for Watford as well. Troy Deeney on the score sheet. Kristen Benson got himself sent off. Watford keeping clean. Watford have actually won 8 of the last 9 matches in the Championship, whereas they've also kept clean sheet in 6 of the last 8 at home. Heading into this, 4 wins on the spin for Watford. Last time they suffered a defeat was against Bournemouth. Meanwhile, just 1 win the past 4 games for Birmingham. That was against Reading just the other day, but it could be a new manager Bounce. Let's take a look at, of course, the bookies odds. Watford 2-1 on for the victory. 16-5 is your draw. 6-1 is your bloody Birmingham. Birmingham, if they win it in 21st, they could go as high as 18th. As for Watford, they are second. With them, they can close in on first. Going to go with a 2-0 win for Watford at the Road. Of course, the game of the weekend will be at the Carrow Road. Of course, we'll be partying like it's 1995 because this is a free hit for us. Well, it's not really. It could be. It could be. Depending on which side of the fence you sit. I'm sitting in Mowbray for the time being, but of course this could be his last game in charge because it'd be prime time to fire a manager right into the international break. So yeah, and we're expected to lose this one. For me, we screwed up against Bristol City on Wednesday. That was a must-win game because that must-win game would have made this a free hit, and we would have just lost it, and it wouldn't have done anything to the old grand scheme of things. But not beating against Bristol City has cost us. It's cost us 2 points in my points per game strategy. I wanted Mowbray to pick up 1.84 points a game, with of course losses against Brentford, losses against Swansea, losses against Norwich, but now if we could get something out of this, then potentially Mowbray stays. But of course, this is Venky's. They're not going to fire him anyway. But anyway. Yeah, big game. Well, we'll be there. Watch along for it on Saturday. Of course, played for the last 6. 5 wins for Norwich, nothing for Blackburn, and of course, 1 draw. Last round, and the Carrow was a 2-1 win for Norwich back, of course, April 2019. Stupid minute in Vranic on score sheet. Of course, Lewis Travis getting a consolation goal for Rovers. They've all been quite narrow defeats in recent times anyway. Also played for the AE with 2-1 win as well for Norwich. Norwich, though, winning the last 9 matches in the Championship, keeping a clean sheet in 6 of the last 7 at home. Coming into this, an impeccable bit of form. Rovers is not too bad when you cast a quick eye on this. It's just 2 defeats of the past 6 for Rovers. It's a good way to look at it. And again, when you're playing up against some high-flying teams, but it's not really that good. It's just 1 win in 11 if you want to open it up that way. Look at the bookies odds on this one. Shall we? Norwich coming at you, of course, 20-11 on. Stone Cold favourites. 5-1 is your long shots. That is, of course, Rovers. 3-1 is your draw. Rovers are in 15th, and with them they can move up to 14th. As for Norwich, they are top, and they'll be top no matter what. Going to go with a 3-1 for Norwich on this one. Unfortunately, Rovers will have another defeat, and it could be the end of the Mowbray. Not saying that I want him out, but it sounds it could be. Next, of course, Preston North End taking, of course, Luton Town. They were not going down, of course, played to the last 6, 3 for Preston, 2 for Luton, and 1 draw. Last round at Deepdale was 2-1 win for, of course, Preston. Paul Gallagher, Jaden Stockley on the score sheet, of course. James Collins got consolation goal for Luton, but unfortunately it was too little, too late. They also played at Kenilworth Road back in, of course, December. It was a 3-0 win for Luton. Collins with a hat-trick as well. Preston have actually lost. Preston have actually won their last 4 home matches against Luton in all comps. They've also scored at least 2 goals in the last 3 at home against Luton. They come into this though. Preston just 1 win the past 6, and 1 win against Huddersfield. Meanwhile, Luton come into this one 1 win in 3. That 1 win was against Coventry just the other day. Look at the bookies odds on this one then, shall we? Preston 11-8 for the victory. 21-10 is your Luton. 23-10 is your draw. Of course, North End coming in and find themselves in 16th, but a win for them they can move up to 14th. In 14th is Luton. A win for them they can move up to the top 10 into 10th with 50 points on the agenda. Going to go with 2-1 for Preston to break the hoodoo and get back to winning ways. Into the final 3 now we have Stoke City taking, of course, Derby County. Played for the last 6. 2 wins for Stoke, 1 for Derby, 3 draws last round. At Stoke was a 2-2 draw back in, of course, August 2019. Goal scorers on that day was, of course, Scott Hogan with the brace, Martin Wycombe with the brace as well. Also played each other this season at Pride Park was a 0-0 draw back in, of course, December. Derby though failed to score in the last 3 away matches, and they've also failed to win the last 6 as well. Looking very, very shite at the moment, Derby. 3 defeats, 3 draws in the past 6. Meanwhile, just 1 win in the past 6 for Stoke. 2-0 win over Wycombe. It was no bookies odds on this one. But of course, a win for Stoke in 11th. They could go up as high as 10th. As for Derby, they're in 19th. A win for them, they can move up to 17th in the end. Going to go with a 1 more draw in the end, and then wrap it up. It'll be Swansea up against Cardiff. Of course, played to the last 6, 3 for Swansea, 2 for Cardiff, 1 draw. Last round in Wales, of course, back in August 2019 was a 1-0 win for Swansea. Ben Wilmot on the score sheet, of course, giving Swansea the W. Of course, they also played each other this season. This, of course, is the Battle of the Welsh. Just clicked on here. Played each other in Cardiff. Was 2-0 for Swansea. Jamal Lowe with a brace. Joe Rolls got himself sent off. Swansea though keeping a clean sheet in the last 4 matches against Cardiff. Also undefeated in 14 last 15 matches at home. Cardiff though undefeated in 12 of the last 13 matches as well. So this one's going to be tight. Okay, just 1 defeat the past 6 games for Cardiff. In fact, if you want to spin it another way, just 1 win in 5 now for McCarthy's boys. Maybe that new manager bounce has finally come to a halt. That 1 win was against Derby. Meanwhile, of course, Swansea just 1 win in 3, of course, losing to Bournemouth and also picking up a draw against Rovers in the end. Look at the bookies odds on this one then. 8-5 for Swansea, 90-10 is your draw, 21-20 is your 21-10 is your draw, 90-10 is your Cardiff. Of course, Cardiff currently find themselves in 9th. And for them, they can move up to 8th. Swansea 3rd, and for them, they can move up to 2nd. They'll get the win, 2-0 win over Cardiff in the end. And of course, I put that one in there. Huddersfield against Bournemouth, but it won't go ahead. I don't know why, but it's just postponed. But anyway, if it does go ahead, 2-1 win for Bournemouth. But I don't think it will. And if I'm right, which I hope so, this table will look like or something like this. Of course, Norwich will lead the charge. 10 points clear over Watford. Of course, Swansea will be into 3rd. Brentford will keep in the hunt as well in 4th. Barnsley 5th, comfortably. 5 points clear over chasing 7th. That's what I'm looking at because I want Barnsley in there. Of course, Reading in 6th. Rotherham and Wycombe and Wednesday going down. No change at the front of the table. But of course, still got a few games left. Games in hand that could make it very, very spicy for the likes of Derby, Coventry, Birmingham, and maybe in Rovers down to 16th. Goodness gracious me. That's it, my friends. That's all I've got for you. Be sure to get your picks in nice for this one, and we'll do it all again after the international break. Until then, though, check out the links down below on Twitter, Facebook, and Twitch. Make sure you check it out. There's loads of content coming over the next few weeks, even though the predictions will stop. There'll be World Cup picks. There'll be other bits and pieces, a lot of content. So make sure you check it out. Until then, though, be sure to give the video some love and smash your thumbs up, smash your subscribe. We'll do it all again very, very soon. Until then.